Hi everybody, welcome to lesson 4 of Zohar. We're still on the first word of Bereshit, of creation, and we're going to spend a little time on that. Before we do, I wanted to highlight to you that the Sefirot, the vessels of creation, are broken into the side of the left and the side of the right. The side of the left typically being female, the side of the right being male. The Godhead, the highest point from which the vessels expand, is typically thought of as male, and the point to which they arrive in the physical world, the world in which we live, is typically considered to be female. This is a constant theme that runs through Kabbalah, and we'll come back to it at some later point. Now we're going to look at the beginning letters, the words, the beginning verse of Torah, Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. From here, all the commands were created through the mysterious expansion of this point of concealed radiance. Radiance is the name of Zohar. Zohar means radiance. Chochma Reishit, the beginning of wisdom. This is the point from the Godhead, essentially, that comes into insight, the flash of insight, the beginning of the will, the ratzon, the desire to create, comes into this point of Chochma, and from there, this point expands to give rise to all of the vessels of creation, and ultimately manifests in the physical world through this chain of events known as Seder Hishtalshulut, the order of progression throughout the process of the spiritual worlds coming into the physical. Now, the Zohar asks, if created is written here, Bereshit bara, bara being the word for created, no wonder it is written God created the same verb, bara, vayibra, and again bara, and again bara. God created, using that verb, the human being in his image. So Zohar brings a relationship between the Godhead and the image of God and the creation of man in that image. Now we'll read from the Zohar in this language here. Zohar Radiance Mystery, Bereshit. In the beginning, first of all, Ehyeh is another name of God. Ehyeh, we'll talk to it as the name Ehyeh. I will be. It's a reference to I will be. I am who I am. I will be who I am. It's a past, present, future reference, all combined in one. A sacred name engraved in all sides. Elokim, God engraved in the crown. Asher, Ehyeh, Asher, Ehyeh is the way that it's written in Exodus. Who, a hidden treasured palace, beginning of mystery, Reishit. Asher, Rosh, head, emerging from Reishit, Bina. Now, so this name of God, Ehyeh, Asher, Ehyeh, is referenced from the story of Moses in Exodus, and but it is a new name of God here in the introduction of Zohar to the process of creation as this point of wisdom, this insight, this place from where the Godhead essentially establishes the will, the transfer of desire into the process of manifestation. This point, which contains everything, is essentially processed through Bina, through the palace, through the womb, the place where in our human terms we grapple with this flash of insight, this point that's come to us, and we unravel it, we analyze it, we dissect it, we try to understand what it is that we have received and how we will translate that in our way to give rise to that insight in the physical world, from the spiritual to the physical. When afterward point and palace were arrayed as one, then Bereshit comprised supernal Reishit in wisdom, Chochma. So the reflection of the point as it is dissected and unraveled and understood is essentially mirrored in Chokhmah. Now, the word Asher, or is sourced in the word Haya. So Ekeh is sourced in the word Haya. Now, we'll come to the highest name of God further down the track in later lessons, but you will recognize when we do get there that it's spelled with a Yud and a Hey, and then a Yud and a Hey. So the addition of the additional Yud takes this name from Haya to the highest point, which is God's ultimate name. Afterward, the color of the palace was transformed, and it was called Bayit, house. Now we're talking about Bina here, where this point is transformed, while the supernal point was called Rosh. Here, Rosh, beginning, head, merging in one another in mystery of Bereshit, when all was as one in one entirety before the house was inhabited. Once it was sown, arraying habitation, it was called Elohim, hidden, concealed. The seed from Chokhmah was concealed in Bina. So now the question is brought, what is this seed? And the seed is referred to here as those engraved letters, mystery of Torah, emerging from that point. Within that palace, the point sowed the seed of 3 points, Cholem, Shuruk, and Chirek. Okay, these are the vowels, merging together, becoming a single mystery. Now, what's important to understand here is that all of the letters of Torah, the 22 letters of the alphabet here, we've referred to them previously in previous lessons. These are the mother letters, Shin, Aleph, and Mem. And all of these letters are referring to the voices that gave rise to creation. God said. The 10 times that God said in the beginning of the creation story relates to these vessels, the establishment, the formation, the expansion of these vessels in the Sfirot that give rise to the entire aspects of creation, the pathway through which the spiritual progresses and moves into the physical. And all of that relates to the concealment of God. And as God conceals himself further and further down this chain of events through these 4 worlds, ultimately God is hidden entirely in the world, in the physical world in which we live, and only by our free choice do we reveal him. So these letters are very important. The letters in Hebrew are actually spiritual concepts. They relate to different energies of God. And they are really a study in their own right, to be carefully, to really understand Torah and to truly understand the energies of these vessels and the manifestation of the spiritual worlds into the physical worlds. One must study the meaning of these letters, the construct of these letters, the value of these letters, and how they relate to each other. So a voice emerging in unison. So this is referring to the voice of God as he uses voice to create this physical world, to give existence to the physical world. A voice emerging in unison, Tiferet. This is this absolute, the synthesis of all these vessels and energies above. As it emerged, its consort emerged with it, comprising all letters, as it is written, Et Hashamayim, the heavens, voice, and consort. Tiferet and Shechina, Shechina being the ultimate manifestation of all of these vessels and all of the energies that relate to the synthesis that occurs between these vessels and then passes down to the ultimate Malchut, kingship, existence, manifestation of reality in the higher spiritual world, and then that manifestation of reality as it progresses down into the real, the true physical world in which we live. This voice, heaven, is the final ekir. I will be, ekir asher ekir. I will be who I will be. And it refers to Keter, the crown, Bina, understanding, and Tiferet. So it's these Keter, Bina, Tiferet. And it's through this pathway that the synthesis of the spiritual world comes into being before it gives birth to the physical. Speak to you in the next lesson.